Hello, everyone. It's Sarah Ford with Warming Up with Sincerely Sarah. Ooh, let me turn this. You don't want to look at everything's a mess. I was going to say they don't want to look at my messy closet, but everything else is a mess too. So I am here with Courtney Donahue, previously Courtney Young. So Courtney and I met at a Star Director Summit Approach. So that is a leadership program. It's just a conference that we do every year. And so since we've met there, we both have promoted to the highest level of the company, which is called Superstar Director. And if you've been watching my channel, Warming Up with Sincerely Sarah, for a while, you may have noticed that everyone I've interviewed so far for my channel have been Superstar Directors. And I do that intentionally because a lot of people look at superstar directors as inspirations that they can follow and learn from. And so I want to show people and prove to people that just because we are a multi-level direct selling company doesn't mean that it's a scheme or that the people who are at the top are just at the top collecting a bunch of money. So hashtag income disclosure will be added in the comments here below so that way you can look at that to see what those ranges are. But anyways, I am so very excited. So this is our first interview for 2022. And aren't we all excited about this incredible new year that we get to start fresh? And so my first interview was with Courtney. So welcome, Courtney. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview with me.
Thanks for having me. When you messaged me, I was like, ooh, she wants to interview me? I was like, I don't know what I'm going to bring to the table. But then that imposter syndrome kind of took over me, like, oh, I'm just a normal person. So it is really exciting to officially be a superstar director now. A lot of hard work goes into this. So we do not just sit on our thumbs. So yeah, I'm really excited to answer some questions and get you guys to know me a little bit more.
Yeah. So I've got some glare coming in here, so I'm going to try to not be distracted by that. Okay, so the purpose of this YouTube channel is to provide real life experiences from people who have experienced Cincy for enough time that they could promote to the highest level of the company. And so, Courtney, I want to kind of go back all the way to the very beginning of your journey. What led you to Cincy and what made you go, okay, I think I'll join?
Well, I've never done anything in sales before. I am in the healthcare profession. I was in school and recently was fired from my dental job for being pregnant. Apparently in Maryland, they can just fire you for no reason. Mm-hmm. So I joined Cincy almost 10 years ago. While I was pregnant, I saw someone post that they had products on hand or like purchase products or something along the measure of that's how I saw Cincy on like a Facebook post. And I was like, that's interesting. Like, I love my house to smell amazing. I don't typically use candles. So I researched the company and I was like, okay, like one, consumable products. I don't need to tell people they need to lose weight. I don't need to tell people that their face looks like crap. Like, I don't need to tell them any regimens. Fragrances sell themselves as long as I just get them in people's hands. So I was like, oh, this kind of like, I like this. So I literally texted my now husband and was like, I think I'm going to do this. I need to bring in some income. I was unemployed, on bed rest. I needed to like look at something that wasn't your typical 9-to-5 job. Or in the long term, it'll just be an extra source of income. I'm all about like multiple streams of income. So I took my last $99 out of my savings account because I was still in school. I was not making much money. I was 18 years old. I was a little baby. So I hit Sensational Start Level 2. I earned my first incentive, which I think was the Pick, Pack, Play. Were you around during the Pick? That was my first incentive.
Yeah,
I
but
earned cookies.
I didn't even start recruiting until after my first year.
Yeah, I didn't try to recruit. I was just sharing on Facebook because I was stuck in bed. I was sharing what fragrances I liked. I was sending people mail, and people were like, "Oh, I like this too. I want my own discount. I want this." Like, people were like, "How did you recruit?" I did not ask one person to like join the journey with me. It just was authentic in the products and the way Scentsy just structures their core beliefs. So I was like, well, like this kind of can be like a really like legit side gig. I honestly thought I was going to lose my $99 investment and I was just going to be purchasing through myself. So fast forward, I kind of did it as a hobby, and then like a light bulb went off. I think the year before I met you. What did we met in 2018, 2017?
It was
I don't
2018.
18. So in
Yeah. Or
2017,
2019, it might have been.
I don't know, COVID and like all these years, I don't know. I don't even know what year it is really. Um, about halfway through my journey, about 4 or 5 years ago, a light bulb in my brain really like went off, and I was like, look, if I dedicate 6 months of my time, consistent effort, consistent trainings, consistent, just consistency. That was my word for the year. If I can make a paycheck that is X amount of dollars, because I was hearing about all these directors and star directors and superstar directors making these in dream paychecks of mine at that time.
Mhm.
I was like, I'm gonna really put all my eggs in this basket and see what I can bring of it.
Mhm.
Um, so within this business, you don't always have to be a full-time go-getter. It can just provide like an extra $200 a month, your own discount,
Mhm.
your kids' sports and stuff like that. So your journey and your whys always change. So the reason I joined was just to get through pregnancy, and the reason I stayed changed over the course of time. But I'm a full forced, always Scentsy person. I think it's the best direct selling company on the face of this earth, hands down.
Well,
Not just because I sell it, but
I-
like just it's proof in the pudding. That's what I say. It's proof in the
well, and I
pudding.
think, now that there are a handful more companies that have come out that I feel like are a little bit more legit, like they have kind of gained some ground.
Yep.
um I think it's easy to see now that we have Instagram and Reels and we're connecting a little bit more in that capacity, that it's easy to see when someone is really passionate about what they're doing, where they're talking about it all the time and they're showing people things and they're sharing it versus just, like, hey, do you want to lose weight?
Yeah.
Everyone's gotten that, whether you're 100 pounds or 300 pounds, it doesn't matter. Everyone's gotten that message before.
Oh, right.
And it's very much targeted, of course, I think, um, but we don't have to do that. And we get to be as natural about our love for the product as possible. I mean, I'm sitting here with all the new things. When I say all the new things,
I haven't come in yet. I'm so jealous.
yes. So I got mine yesterday, finally. And I just look at this and I go, laundry, everyone, cleaning, everyone, smelling good, everyone, and I didn't get all the everyone things either. So, I mean, it's just built for everyone. And that's what I love.
Yeah.
So, so I know that you went back to work at one point, and how long did you do that for? And was that because you had to? Was that because you were like, I loved what I did, and so I wanted to go back? Or how did that look for you?
So while I was started Scentsy, I was in school to become a dental assistant. And then there's different ranks of certifications you can get as a dental assistant. So when I first joined, I wasn't making the kind of money that I wanted to earn at that point in time. I honestly didn't even think it was feasible because I was like, oh, like it's just me. I could never do that. Or,
But
like
also it's not like get rich overnight,
it's not a and I didn't go into this to be like, okay, I'm gonna make $10,000 every single month from the jump. Like it is
Right.
not a get rich quick. And a lot of people like we put the time and effort into why we make the money we earn and deserve at it's a lot of hard hours, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You're not just going to wing it and
Mhm.
become successful. um and so I finished my dental school after I had Colton. I went back when he was like 6 or 7 weeks old. um Finished 2 more dental degrees in that time period. So, like I said, like when I started actually focusing on Scentsy full time after having a baby, being in school, working 40, 50 hours a week, I was not putting in the time and effort to get the results I needed. So
Mhm.
when that light bulb kind of went off, when I promoted to director, I kind of promoted to director. I know I said you can't wing it, but I kind of promoted to director on a wing because I was still kind of just sharing Scentsy with my direct customers, my direct people. I wasn't really expanding, but those people just started joining me. Like I was like, okay. So as I'm doing my sales and kind of just, I wouldn't say just doing the minimum because Scentsy sells itself. Once I just posted a couple times a week, the new stuff, the new products, the new catalogs, I would get reorders. So I was
Mhm.
like, okay, like I'm putting in this bare minimum and I just promoted to a top leadership title in this company. Like at that point, I thought I was putting in a really low minimum, but to me, I was putting in more effort than most, if that makes
Well, and
sense.
I was gonna say you are you're a very hard working person in general.
I
And
am.
so your definition of not putting in very much is probably my definition of like a mediocre, like a medium, not mediocre, but like a medium amount. Like
Yeah.
you're probably putting in a lot more than you claim to be putting in.
Yeah. It's not the average person's.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
mine. Like
there's a
you're
lot to be perceived there.
I'm a very hard worker. Like when I join, people are like, you're gonna fail. And I'm like, I'm gonna prove you wrong. Actually, I am not. So like that actually gave me like extra motivation, extra hustle. Like I also like earning things. I like to be like, not a brag, but the trips, I was like, heck yeah, I'm gonna earn that. I haven't earned every single trip since I've joined. But I was like, that's like my mentality. I like if there's an incentive, I'm gonna work my butt off for it.
Yeah,
So that's yeah,
yeah,
my me putting in a minimum is not many people's minimum.
right.
My minimum.
So when you so then of course you moved, you went through school, you got through all of that,
Yep.
and then your husband took a job in a different state, and or he moved with his company, or either way. So you ended up in a
Transferred within
different
his
state.
company because there is Texas on the outskirts of Austin is getting so built up that they
Mhm.
kind of like recruited people from other terminals. So they weren't having
Okay.
all fresh people. They needed people that knew what to do. They didn't need to train anybody. They just kind of need to give you the ropes and you're out on your own.
Yeah.
So finally, like after I put in my full force of efforts, we took a year. I was like, okay, if we pay off all of our debt and I can make this paycheck, I will be fine leaving my dental career, retiring my dental career. Um, Before that, it was kind of scary. Like you're so caught into thinking like society says you need to work a 9 to 5. Like if you work other businesses, like you're not legit, you don't really make real income. So it took me a while to get out of that mind state because there are so many people that do not think what we do is a real thing. But um, there are dental reps in this industry that are sales based and they come into your offices, medical salespeople. I'm like, so why is anyone else's sales job legit but mine's not?
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to do this as a real thing. A year we planned and prepped and everything. And I was like, okay, well, if we move, I'm going to go Scentsy full time. I don't want to work. I don't know anyone down there. I don't want my child in daycare. I don't want to have to call out a sick or not have people be able to pick them up from school or this or that.
Mhm.
I don't want to put them in summer camps. Like I want to stay home. So yes, granted, my son is 9 years old. So I do get to work without any distractions Monday through Thursday. And then the weekends I have off. So it's nice to be able to make my own schedules. And I would never change like his it was really also really scary to move from Maryland. That's where my family is, that's where our family is. Have really bad anxiety, so like change is really hard for me. But I like haven't had an anxiety attack since we moved. Like the stress of going to a 9 to 5, just everything, like I can do it on my terms now.
Mhm.
So it's something super magical. I like I can't even explain it.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, that's, I didn't even think about that when you moved, that you don't have that same support system there. And I did that too, but I didn't have a kid. And even still, I don't trust a lot of people. So like,
Oh,
even I've lived here for, gosh, I don't know, 12 years or something. And I am very picky, and I want to be with my kid. Like I chose, I chose to have him, and I know that not everyone gets to do that. And so I'm grateful that that is the choice that I was able to make, because I did make that choice. I worked 9 to 5. I have a college degree. I was a social worker, so I didn't make that much money, but there was, well, without Cincy, I probably would have never even thought about the potential of being able to make more money in any kind of realm,
yeah.
because I was just a social worker and that was just the norm. And after Cincy, and this isn't necessarily even just attributed to Cincy, like I think that this is attributed to when you start to achieve things, you become more apt to believe in yourself, which in turn allows you to make decisions that you would have never made before, because you believe that you'll be able to fulfill what you need to fulfill. And I think that that is definitely something that you're talking about, that and you probably believed in yourself before too, and you were in college and you achieved goals, but to have the control,
Yeah.
right, over what you want to do. And I think that speaks volumes. So what do you think, when it comes to Scentsy and Scensy's culture, or um the vibe, as a trendy word that we can use, what do you think has done for you, or allowed for you, in terms of being successful and feeling that confidence to be able to like do it all? Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a kind of a loaded question. I've never
Aside
asked that
from
question.
like promoting a product that I love, that I've learned to love. When I bought my kit,
Mhm.
actually, I had never used Scentsy before, but I
Mhm.
loved the base purpose of what the products were. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But once I learned the culture of Heidi and Orville, our co-CEOs, and actually got to see how well oiled the machine is that they run. Um, like when we talk about other direct sales and everyone has received that message, like I used to have that sticky stigma against certain companies because
Mhm.
yes, I have watched some videos when I've done my research on which company I think best aligned with myself.
Right.
um we don't do the cold messaging, we don't do, I feel like everything in Scentsy is just pure authentically yourself. You're
Mhm.
yourself, you do what you want to do because there is no wrong or right way.
Mhm.
Um, when we go to our trainings and our leaderships and our reunions, and yes, there are bad eggs in everything. No matter what industry you're in, there are bad eggs, but 90% of the people that I have met in Scentsy have become some of my best friends.
Mhm.
Authentically my best friends, people
Mhm.
that have the same life values as myself, the same.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter your religious beliefs, it doesn't matter, like, if you're gay, straight, bi, they, she, he, like, it does not matter
Oh,
because we are all there to cheer each other on. If something bad happens, everyone chips in, like, it's the kind of person I wanna be, so my child is like that, like, besides the selling aspect, um, the core beliefs, generosity, authenticity, simplicity, like, that's how everyone should live their life, period, besides just, the selling aspect. So I really, just found a different confidence in myself, but I also joined when I was very young, so, like, Scentsy has grown with me as
mhm.
I've matured, as I've become a mother, as I just turned 30, like, so, like,
Yeah.
it's really grown with me throughout my whole life to where I look back and I'm like, "What 19-year-old just decides out of the whim to just start this?" But, like, something in me just said, "Just do it, take a leap of faith, and there's really nothing bad that can happen, even if it is not a right time for you at the moment, or you can rejoin or come back." Like, the whole culture is still just something I just can't explain. Like,
Mhm. Yeah.
maybe you can explain it better, but I cannot explain, like, the
No, I think that you hit it on the nail on the head when you said that these are things that we should live by in our day-to-day life.
yes.
These values that our company is built on are honestly what every person in this world should be
Yeah.
basing their morals and their values on. Obviously, to me, right now in the world that we're living in, it is almost like a feeling of home where everything outside of this world is different and scary and whatever. But when I come back to my home, which is Cincy, and I see that there is support and like I emailed an executive today and asked a question. It was a basic question. It wasn't anything crazy. And just said, "Hey, can we just talk about this quick thing?" And she was like, "Oh, I'll put in a request." And it was like 2 seconds I got a response. It's the attention to the detail and to honestly just valuing us, valuing like morals and just basic like code of ethics, where that could be different in other places. And I don't know if you do, but I sometimes listen to Dave Ramsey, and I've listened to his audiobook Entree Leadership 3 or 4 times now. And if you haven't listened to the Entree Leadership book by Dave Ramsey, I would highly recommend that you either read it or get it on audiobook.
I probably do audiobook, I do not read.
Yeah, I'm not a big reader either. So I really love it. And it's engaging and it's inspiring and it's motivating. And when I listen to it, a lot of the things that he talks about are things that I feel we do in our business. It's that moment of like, instead of just expecting something from someone, you go to them and you say like, "How are you?" And you find out like maybe they're not performing because something's happened in their family, and you wouldn't know that unless you've had a conversation with them.
Yep.
And he even talks about firing people like it's a gift to them, which is so kind of crazy, which obviously we don't fire people, but like that, like maybe you being here and not being able to perform is actually holding you back from something you should be doing. And so, it's just a really good book. But I think that it reminds me a lot too to kind of go back to those values and how to lead in terms of that. Anyways, that's a very random side note. But It's a good one, and it's a good book, so I recommend it. But going back, you talked about earning trips and you've talked about events. So how do you think that those specific things have affected your business to be able to take those trips and to be able to attend those events?
So I am like a travel junkie. You're my friend. I've known you for a couple times, and the first time, like I'll talk about the event that I met you at Star Director Summit in Boise, Idaho. We have like a Scentsy Willy Wonka land is what I call it.
Mm-hmm.
Most of our products are made in the United States. So we can go to the manufacturers. We can meet with our home office, our leaders, our people that have the like-minded goals, drive, hustle, like long-term goals. I didn't know Sarah before our Star Director Summit. We are now Superstar Directors. But she randomly walked up to me and said, I just want to tell you you're so beautiful. And I was like, no one has ever told me that before. Like, what? Just me? And I was like, these are the people I want to be around. Like, if I had a good makeup day, she's like, oh, you look beautiful today. Like, instead of people on like the internet that are like just so hateful and like, so that was how I met Sarah. She randomly just walked up to me and was like, I just want
It was honestly, it was true.
but like I was like, geez, wanted to make my day. I think it was like the last day we were there, and just like before Scentsy, like I don't think I could approach people and just be like, hey, how are you doing? Like when what was the question? We were talking about events. Sorry, squirrel. We're talking about events. So I'm a travel junkie. I love traveling. So like I said before, if Scentsy has an incentive, like the top goal is like the minimum to me. Like so but those extra incentives on top of them already paying me doing what I love, they give you extra rewards just for doing what you're doing. You might need to work a little bit harder to hit certain sales or, quotas or milestones or personal promotions, personal growth. Like it's there to push you because they know most of them have it inside of them, but they don't believe in themselves yet, or they think like I used to, where, oh, not me, it's just me. Like I could never do that. Like, why would I be able to, achieve those goals? But Scentsy really gives that foundation for you to be able to achieve all of the goals, plus all of the leaders that do YouTube videos. There are globs of information out there that there is no reason that anyone cannot succeed or achieve. But not everyone gets to go to our home office. So we do a reunion every year. And that is usually in a really cool city. So I like to go with my friends, meet up with my friends and explore and eat food. I love food. I love Chick-fil-A. I just love eating food. It just makes me happy. So like getting to experience those cities, getting to do open chats with people about where we're going, who we're going with, inspirational speakers that they provide for us. That when I say like our reunions are not just about Scentsy, it is literally about self-evaluation almost. Like you can do this. Inspirational speakers, people with disabilities that defied all odds. There was that African-American pilot, that lady, I think it was in St. Louis. I totally am terrible about names.
I think she was in Los Angeles.
But about no one wanted to hire her because she was an African-American and never giving up on your dreams and goals and, defying all odds. The guy who hiked all the way across Antarctica, right?
Yeah.
Like they bring in people that just speak volumes. Kendra something. She writes books. Very motivational speaker. Like, so it's not like they're just
leadership in 2017 was Mel Robbins.
Oh, Mel Robbins. I forgot about Mel Robbins in New Orleans. Like, so it's not just like we go to these events to learn how to sell the product. We know how to sell the product because we love the product. And if we just share the product sells itself. But these leadership and training events are all about, like, everyone needs that in their life. Like, no matter who you are, it's a good, like, self-esteem booster. You get to hear these inspirational stories, and then you think to yourself, wow, I really can do this, because you can. It's your mindset holding you back. Like,
Mhm.
I'm all about mindset, and
You know,
Oracle speech about, mindset. And
um, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
oh,
off.
you're good.
Did you have something else to say?
No, just about mindset, just learning
Yeah.
how to defer that. If you write down your goals and you believe in yourself, I think Jason told us I think it was Star Director Summit, when beliefs and writing down goals, if you just write down a goal and you focus on that for 30 days, I think you have 100% success rate of actually achieving it,
Hmm.
which was insane to me.
Hmm. Yeah. So, if you have one goal that you focus on, that's what he was saying, like just one goal.
Yeah.
Like the more goals that you have for yourself, the less likely you are to achieve them. So pick
Yep.
one thing. And a lot of times too, and what I say is like, and we've talked about this, I think before in like leadership, but if you pick something that you want to become an expert in, then what happens is you find that you learn so many other things about so many other things along the way, that you're not really just focusing on one thing like you thought you were in the long run. And I think that is really cool too. There was something else I was going to say, but I don't really remember what it was. A lot of the people who I've interviewed so far have all kind of said the same thing. Like, I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything. And these are people who now have so much. And life isn't just about having money or having things, obviously, but it is a sense of there's this feeling that you get when you do start to make some money, and not because you have nicer things or whatever, but it's a pride that you've worked really hard. It's the ability to prove to other people that you've done something, that you've accomplished something that they can too. That not to prove to them wrong, but even just to give them inspiration. But also that you can be generous and give back. And I've in the last year, obviously I don't obviously like talk about this. I feel weird talking about it. But like, there's been so many opportunities because there's been so many tragic things, I feel like, but there have been so many more opportunities that I've been able to open up to giving because of my ability to do that. And obviously there comes a point where you have to go, okay, I can't just like give on a whim like all the time because I won't have anything left. But you have the opportunity now that giving someone like $20 for something that they need is going to mean so much more to them. And it makes you feel better when it's not like your last $20 and you have nothing left. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's coming off how it should. I hope that it is. But it's just,
You're blessed enough to give back to those in need, because we've all been there. Like, not everyone just wakes up financially stable. It's not that we're rich, just there is a little bit of more financial stability in our lives, to where like I don't shop. Like, if I just like you're like, I don't talk about it. Like, if me and Colton, if we volunteer somewhere, I don't have to bloat it all over Facebook for people to think that I'm a good person. If I give back to a church or something during the holidays, because we donate children during the holidays, that, you know, that's not bragging or anything, like, but I don't like to like just blast it all over Facebook for people like, oh, they, you just want to say you're a good person, or, like,
right.
so I do it as well, just like you, kind of behind the scenes, or being able to donate to causes that,
Yeah.
hit home to us, or, our life experiences. And
Yeah.
it is a blessing. It's also a blessing watching people that believe in themselves enough to actually give this opportunity a chance. And us watching people's lives change right in front of us, people telling us they paid off debt, people telling us they got to purchase their brand new car, you know, people that are going through a divorce or an unfortunate events, or, you know, got out of being in a domestic relationship or something. Like, we are watching people of all kinds change their life every single day because of Scentsy.
Absolutely.
It's
And I
amazing.
think that's ultimately the goal, you
Yeah.
know, that there's just so much that it carries. So I'm trying to think of if there anything. So I guess kind of moving from that in that direction of motivational things. What are some of the steps that you put into practice that allow you to be successful? I know you've talked about sharing. When you started, you were sending things that you loved to other people. So what are some things that you would say you do now, maybe on a weekly or a monthly basis, that make you successful?
So like, I hate calling people. I'm not like, if you call me, I will be like, I'll text you like, what do you want? Like, what's up? um, so what I like to do, and I love customer service. You were saying like, hey, like, you never know what someone is going through unless you just like say, hey, like, how are you? So
Yeah.
that is with my team. I just check in on them like, hey, how's your week going? Hey, happy new year. But I do the same with my customers, because I don't just message them every time that they think I need a sale. Like, their relationship to me is more than just me making a couple dollars off of their individual orders. So customer service, these people actually have become some of my friends, as well as, you know, my team.
Yeah.
So being consistent, I'm always there. I'm commenting on their grandchildren's pictures. If they're having a bad day, I like sending them a little self-care package with some of our products, Scentsy soaks, some sugar scrub, maybe a Starbucks gift card. Like,
Mhm.
customer service, like, is the thing that I think is most important in any kind of sales related business.
Mhm.
So I'm always interacting with people in an authentic way. It's not like I'm doing this just to be like, oh, hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? No, it's not a copy and paste message. It's not a cold message. It's a direct message of, hey, oh my gosh, I saw this in the store. I know you love flamingos, or like whatever it is. Like,
Yeah.
so like, authentic conversations with people, even though I am like an extrovert, I'm very extroverted. I still like to talk to people in conversations.
Mhm.
Um, I send out a lot of Happy Meal. I call it Happy Meal. We do snail mail. I just feel like people receiving something in the mail that isn't a bill, a birthday card, some new samples, fragrances that I think that they would like, a handwritten note, just something really cute and quaint, some scent circles, like, hey, like, hope your car smells good this, you know, just
Yeah.
something that lets them know I've been thinking of them, or stuff like that. And then personal trainings is what I base myself on. There is so, if we had the amount of information that me and you had when we first joined now,
Mhm.
holy smokes, like, we would be like off to the races from the beginning. Like, there is so many amazing people out there that are creative, just sales geniuses that share all of their information of what is successful.
Yeah.
Um, so a lot of self-evaluation. I'm really into podcasts. I'm gonna listen to the book you recommended. I do a lot of trainings with other leaders, like-minded people. I'm sad I just missed Cabo, because I was like really wishing that I could wing it to go. Um, so those are really what I focus on, is just building relationships, authentic relationships with people, and consistently sharing how I use Scentsy in my life. Scentsy is a part of my life. If I'm doing my laundry, I'm sharing that I'm doing my laundry and it smells really good. If I'm doing my dishes, if I'm mopping my floors, if I'm spraying my couch or my disgusting dogs, like, Scentsy is a part of my life.
Mhm.
Like, so once people see how your life is with Scentsy, most people want a piece of the pie too. They're like,
Mhm.
she makes it look so easy. She, you know, simplicity. Everything is super simple. So those are some of the things I do in my day-to-day life.
Yeah. What do you think is one of your what would you say is the one moment in your business that was like, I can't believe I just did that. Like a accomplishment, like the biggest moment for you.
Ooh, it might be promoting to superstar director.
Hmm.
That's really up there. And earning some trips. I did the European cruise and extended for a while. And I've Europe would have never been on my bucket list at, I think I was 26 years old. Went to Europe for 2 weeks. Just earned the Alaskan cruise. That is like my dream trip. Like I hope COVID just keeps everything like going smoothly, because if I don't go on that trip, I might cry my eyes out. So uh, it's more, yeah, like promoting to superstar director is a huge dream of so many people. It seems like such a hard stretch, but if your end goal is focused on that, like, and you never give up, you can't give up.
Yeah, for sure. If I would have thought, yeah, like if I would have thought about promoting to superstar director when I was thinking about promoting to director, I would have like totally been like overwhelmed.
Yeah,
But
no,
like just one step at a time.
one promotion at a time. Okay, I got here. How did I get here? Okay, now I'm going to double that. Okay, I got here. Now I'm going to double that. So you know the steps to promote. So if you know the steps to promote one time, you know the steps to promote every other time from there. It's
Mhm.
just going to take a little bit more time, a little bit more effort, and a little bit more consistency, and you're just going to truck away at it. Really, anyone can.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think is probably like one of the most challenging things that you've ever had to overcome?
Mm. Sorry, swallowed wrong.
Okay.
Um, it's probably personal. Like you get in your head and you like I almost quit once. I was like,
Just
no,
once?
just one. Just once. I almost quit once, just one time. Um, but you're going to doubt yourself. You're going to doubt your abilities. You're going to think what you're doing isn't important, isn't value. But you're going to inspire at least one person, and that's all you need to do. So it's more about not letting the imposter syndrome bring you down, because if you just keep going forward, you're just going to overcome your fear, the obstacle, because within every business it's hills and valleys. um,
Mhm.
Everyone's business goes through ruts. Everyone's, no matter if you're a superstar director, no matter if you're brand new, but just staying consistent and putting in the work,
Mhm.
you'll have the results.
Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah, totally. Well, I'm really grateful that you joined me today, and I cannot wait for everyone to watch this video because I know that they're going to be so blessed to hear about you and your story and how you got here and what you're doing. And congratulations on your big promotion. And thank you so much. Thank all of you are my followers and those who are watching all of these videos. I hope that they're helpful. Feel free to comment, definitely subscribe so that you will have notifications as soon as new videos pop up. So thank you guys and happy 2022.